women know, like they start rapidly aging. They're starting to get drier. They're starting to get itchier. They're starting to get more sensitive. Everything is going pear-shaped around menopause, and it's all to do with losing your estrogen. You don't need a 15-part skincare routine in the morning. In the initial stages, your estrogen is going up and down, like I call it the hormonal trampoline, and then eventually it just peters out very slowly until it flatlines. That's menopause, right?
All right, Ginny, thank you so much for joining me today. We're so excited. We have absolutely loved hearing you on Unleashed. What was it that drew you to being part of that show?
Listen, if Mia gives me a call and says, will you, I'm pretty much yes before I hear what it is.
You're like,
like line me up,
she's
fine.
not going to ask you to do something dull, is she? What is the number one thing that you want people listening to this episode today to take away?
I think you don't need to spend the grand national debt of a small country on your skin. You don't need a 15-part skincare routine in the morning, although if you want to, all power to you. And I think that I know it's really boring going with evidence, but evidence still matters. Like independent peer-reviewed trials are still,
That's
I
not
think, your
boring.
best. Yeah, I just think like often we just keep coming back to the same ingredients and everybody wants the new latest miracle thing, which is often proprietary and sponsored and complete bullshit.
So let's talk about midlife skin crisis. What happens around the age of 40 that causes skin to feel like it's just gone absolutely unhinged?
So to a certain extent, it is an age-related thing, like you've just accumulated a certain amount of like sun damage, for example. But a lot of it is hormonal as well. So sorry, just a reminder 101 of what hormones are doing around this stage. Your menopause is when your ovaries have stopped even trying to get you pregnant anymore. They're just like going, okay, we give up.
Bowing out.
I'm bowing out. I'm
Of the
going
group
into
chat.
retirement. Yeah, I'm out of the group chat. I'm not producing you any more estrogen. And in the lead up to that, you've got perimenopause, which can last up to 10 years, during which in the initial stages, your estrogen is going up and down, like I call it the hormonal trampoline, and then eventually it just peters out very slowly until it flatlines. That's menopause, right? So you need to understand what estrogen does for your skin and like honestly build a shrine to it. It is just the most amazing hormone. So within the skin, it helps your skin barrier function. It stimulates your fibroblasts to actually make collagen and elastin, but then it sticks matrix metalloproteinase 1, you know, that nasty enzyme that actually breaks down collagen in the skin. It puts it on a leash and stops it from actually breaking down collagen. It's anti-inflammatory. It also kind of counterbalances your testosterone and sort of keeps your testosterone levels in check. And once you start going into perimenopause and your estrogen starts to wane, even if in the beginning it's going up and down, it's those low estrogen days that are going to send your skin absolutely bananas. Like so much happens as you go into menopause and you lose your estrogen. And like women know, like they start rapidly aging. They're starting to get drier. They're starting to get itchier. They're starting to get more sensitive. Everything is going pear-shaped around menopause, and it's all to do with losing your estrogen.
Why sometimes can products that worked for us amazingly in our 30s all of a sudden not work or make our skin go absolutely haywire in our 40s?
So I think there are a couple of things. The first thing is we know from studies that were mostly done in the Netherlands, so mostly on European skin, that 70% of women do report some sensitivity, some skin sensitivity around the time of the menopause. And we think what is going on there is mostly your impaired skin barrier, you're losing your anti-inflammatory benefits of your estrogen, and then on top of that, for some reason, your nerves go a little bit crazy around that time as well. And so you do get more like pain stimulation. And so sensitivity feels much worse around the menopause as well. So there's all of that. And then on top of that, you've got some other things happening. So let's say you haven't had acne since you were like 16 or 20 or whatever. And now all of a sudden your estrogen's gone down, but your testosterone's kind of staying around the same. So that imbalance is not great. And you've got the pro-inflammatory stuff happening because testosterone in women is pro-inflammatory in the skin, not in men, but it is in women. And you don't have the anti-inflammatory estrogen. So all of a sudden, like, hello zits, 25% of women in perimenopause just go, what is this whopper on my face? Don't really like this situation.
Haven't had one of these for two decades.
And adult female acne, as you guys have discussed so much on New Beauty, is so different to teenage acne. It's such a different beast. It's always hormonal. There's always stuff going on there. Hello, like it's the lower third of your
Always
face.
here.
Always here. Forget the T-zone, doesn't it? Your forehead will be perfect, but it's like that lower third of your face along the jaw. Most women are going to get some what we call truncal acne along their like on their back, on
Truncal
their chest.
acne.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's an adult female acne thing. Like that's a peri thing. You nearly always get some like zit on your back, some zit on your chest.
mm.
The problem with the back ones is like it's so hard to get, like especially when you got perimenopause dicky shoulders and you're like trying to.
The sprays.
Oh,
The
the spray
sprays
is
are
the
a
only thing.
godsend.
The only thing you can use. But
Mm.
like there's not, you can't put vitamin A in a spray, right? You can put some niacinamide, you can put some salicylic
Salicylic acid
acid,
is generally
but
lovely on the
yeah,
back.
but that's all you've got. So it's often much harder to tackle when you've got
Mm.
back acne. So all of those things happen. And so some of the occlusives that were giving you beautiful, like moisturizing effect in your early 40s, all of a sudden it's like, hello, they're actually now giving me breakout, which I'm not really happy about. So there's so much that's happening. Plus, rosacea makes a lovely appearance around this time as well. So all of a sudden you're getting like this red burning situation in your mid face. Do not get sunburnt. You're going to really regret that because your whole face goes on fire. So there's just a lot that's happening hormonally, and it's just not a good time for skin, let's be honest.
It really just doesn't end for women, does it?
No, it's just like,
We have so many hormones when we're
yes.
teenagers. Then if we just have the hormonal fluctuations throughout the month with our regular cycle. Then if we decide to have children, well, that's a whole different beast.
Yeah,
Then peri and menopause.
not good.
Why are we not running the world? We are.
Like with that experience behind our belts, like we should actually be in charge of
Well,
everything.
because you know what stuff would actually get done? Because the fact that we do all of that, all of the hormone management, plus our regular jobs,
Yeah.
rearing children, we are superstars.
We are.
So, talking about the hormonal acne, what are some ingredients that someone dealing with hormonal breakouts should steer clear of versus something that she should reach for, bearing in mind that she's in this era of peri or menopause?
So I think if you've got bog standard adult female acne, so we say any acne after the age of 25 becomes AFA, adult female acne, and it's hormonal. It's less likely to just be a standard thing that you have
Like
during
a gut
teenage years.
problem or something.
We're starting to research the gut. We really are in our infancy. We don't know what a normal gut microbiome
Mm.
should be, let alone what somebody with acne has. So I think that there's a lot of commercial interests that have run way ahead of the science there. But in terms of like a 35-year-old with acne, or like somebody who's got pregnancy and acne, that's a different thing because we can't use retinoids for those women. But if you're a 30-year-old, you're not pregnant, man, your skin is pretty robust. We can throw you alpha hydroxy acids. Like, man, you need like a 2% glycolic on there. Like, go for it. You can
Mhm.
use practically anything. Come your perimenopause, when you've got a disrupted skin microbiome, you've got a disrupted skin barrier function, you're super sensitive, a whole lot of things that work beautifully in your 30s are going to be awful for you. Like, you just can't tolerate them. So while I love a glycolic acid for an adult female acne person who's like 30, not super keen on that for a woman in perimenopause, particularly if she's going through sensitivity. Plus, I'm always worried, like a lot of women assume it's acne. If you've got pimples in the middle of your face and it's not the lower third of your face, just make sure it's not rosacea, because rosacea can look a lot like acne. The pimples are smaller. You don't tend to get those big whoppers like the
Mm.
big blind pimples, but it's in the middle of your face, that middle third of your face. And then it's super, super sensitive. So don't miss the diagnosis, because if it's rosacea, it's all about skin barrier repair. But the things that I would kind of avoid for a perimenopausal woman with acne are your glycolics. Um, Prescription vitamin A can be an absolute killer. Even retinol, you can get that retinol burn when you've never had it before. I think they're the things that I would really steer clear of. And obviously anything like a vitamin C that could actually be occlusive and
Yeah.
actually cause a breakout, definitely steer clear of that.
So quite similar then to just the same products to avoid if you're suffering from sensitivity.
Well, I know we've talked a lot about it on New Beauty, but I think retinol is that Goldilocks retinoid because it is as effective in head-to-head trials as prescription vitamin A.
Another joy we would like to discuss is pigmentation.
Yeah.
Glorious, glorious pigmentation. How do we tell the difference between melasma and sunspots? And when do you need to do something about it?
So you don't need to do anything about pigmentation. I would get it checked if it's a new spot and make sure that it's not a melanoma, because it is really hard for the layperson to actually tell what is a melanoma. So if you're in doubt, go and get it checked out. Melasma is generally, it's only on sun exposed skin. So if you start getting melasma like under here, that is not melasma. That's a different form of pigmentation. It's always symmetrical. So you're going to see if it's on one cheek, it's on the other cheek. So with sunspot,
Really? What if you only ever put one side of you? What if you only put sunscreen on one side of your face?
ooh, because it is always sun exposed skin.
Yeah.
So do people do that?
Well, now that's the way that my brain, well, if it's symmetrical, how would that work though? Do you want me to go test?
Do you want to test it?
No, I don't.
No. On the whole, what we say is it's going to be symmetrical because sun exposure. I mean, look, if you're a truckie, in Australia, it's always going to be worse on the right side. But what we see more with solar lentigines, which is your sunspots, is they really start to come up after menopause. 90% of women over the age of 50 actually have a solar lentigine, a sunspot. And they often don't recognize them. They might be quite small and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you have a look under a microscope, there's much more skin damage under a sunspot. So you do get a concentration of melanocytes at the base of the epidermis under a sunspot. But on top of that, you've got a lot of buckling, a lot of collagen tangles that actually trap the pigment in that one spot. It's often genetic. You'll often see women, mum, sister, cousin has it in the same spot and out it comes. And it can be really difficult to tell them apart. The other one that's really common that no one talks about is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation.
Oh, yeah.
And just to double tap on that, that's really common if you have sensitive burning skin. Do not use a skin product that's actually burning.
No, yeah.
Like a lot of people think that, if it burns and sizzles, that's really working. No, it's actually causing inflammation in your skin. Don't do that. And while all pigmentation roughly is kind of treated the same, there are a few differences. So I think particularly for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, if we don't address the cause of the inflammation, the underlying acne, the dermatitis, the dried skin, the impaired skin barrier, it's just going to come back. We also, if you go back and have more laser, it's going to come back more and more and more. Like some people should not be having laser. But with solar lentigines, to smash up that pigment, we really do need laser first. Laser or BBL is the first thing that we do. It's not to say don't use skincare. You probably want to do your skincare before and afterwards, particularly your tyrosinase inhibitors. But it's definitely a laser first for solar lentigines, a laser last for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and melasma can probably do a bit of both.
If we only have the budget and the patience for one evidence-based ingredient, what is the absolute heavy hitter?
Okay, so I wouldn't be a doctor if I didn't say sunscreen.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And sunscreen is 365 days a year from sun up to sundown, even in front of your computer, because now we're finding out more about the blue light that's emitted by your computer. We know that the sun's UVB rays, which is what your SPF protects you from, is about burning and skin cancer, but the UVA rays for aging and pigmentation are there right through the day and they go through glass. So I'm just going to put that out there. But assuming that we're already done, we're already sold on the sunscreen. If you had to choose one, where the evidence is really a vitamin A.
Do you have any suggestions or favorites that you like?
Well, I've got a conflict of interest.
Yes.
Because
you can recommend your own.
I'm going to recommend my own. So, and that is a complete conflict of interest. Look, the reason why I would go for the ESK Ultimate A Gold is because it's a 0.1% retinol. So retinol comes in a 0.05% or a 0.06%. Some people say that they've got a 1% retinol. You cannot do 1% retinol. They're buying a 1% retinol blend from a proprietor, and then they're adding that into their product. I don't know what the finished product is.
Yeah.
But you want overall there to be a 0.1% if you have pigmentation. So for anti-aging, 0.06% is fine. There's a lot of evidence for 0.06, but if you've got pigmentation, which is, as I said, 90% of women over the age of 50, or if you have acne, then you want a 0.1%. We have combined it with some gluconolactone, which is it's a beautiful polyhydroxy acid, and we've combined it with some niacinamide, and we've put a 0.1% butyl which is an amazing tyrosinase inhibitor. So we've put all of that in there together.
It sounds very nice.
Yeah, and it's got some ceramides and it's got some hyaluronic acid. So it's just
it's juicy as well.
It's juicy. It's just got a lot of things in it. So you only ever use the retinol at night or any prescription vitamin A or any retinol because it gets broken down by sunlight. So it's just a waste of money, really. Don't use the retinol in the morning. It's just throwing your money in the bin. We've worked really hard to keep the pH below 5.5.
We're going to hear more from you and we can't wait over on the Unleashed podcast.
It's so good.